Hello everyone, we have a very interesting week of weather ahead of us, including a very interesting pattern that's about to take place for much of the eastern U.S. and western U.S. as cold air dumps through the northern portions of the U.S. and warmer air holds on in the southern portion of the lower 48. If you do enjoy this video, please consider subscribing, liking, sharing with friends. Let's dive right into it. So, it's been a couple of days. I did say I was going to make a weekend video, or at least I was thinking about it. Decided not to because it's been a very volatile weekend, and we're kind of right back to where we were, I'd say, on Friday, because there was something that was looking interesting. If you remember, I was talking about two little winter threat, snow threat potentials late this week and then into later this upcoming weekend. That has since faded, okay? And so it's something to watch out for. I'm going to explain everything about that and more. So let's start out with National Weather Service alerts and indices. And relatively quiet, in the central U.S. at least, and in portions of the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. Some high wind warnings over here in Montana, dense fog advisories in the Pacific Northwest, wind advisories over here in the desert southwest portions of California, and then some freeze warnings and frost advisories actually in the southern Georgia, northern portions of Florida, and some special weather statements there as well, and some winter weather advisories as a very north tracking clipper kind of makes its way through and brings some light snows to portions of the north central U.S. and upstate New York, very localized regions. So let's kind of, go through the current surface analysis. And again, very quiet, okay? You have kind of some high pressures over here. It's very, very quiet. You see these kind of isobars all around here. So you have a very wide high, I'd say, through here with some cooler weather, some highs over here. High pressures in the west as well, so it's honestly pretty tranquil. Only exception is up here, mainly in the northern portions of the states where you're gonna have this kind of low right here. Gonna try to dive through and get some light snow. Well, we can see if I can talk about that kind of on the fly later in this video, but besides that, nothing much. Some kind of interesting weather though is with that winter storm that I want to honestly winter storm exaggerated it. But with the kind of dynamic storm that we had last week that really is like sparking this pattern change, it's become a 956 low pressure system. It is so strong. Look at these. You see how these pressures, these isobars are packed together into a circle. That's how you know it's very dynamic and still very strong. And it has been bringing some very, honestly, snowy conditions. It's zooming off pretty fast. It's moving very fast. But it's been a powerhouse over here in eastern Canada, and so even portions of northern Maine still kind of feeling some windy conditions with the pressure gradient that is taking place, especially the more north and east you go, closer to the storm, obviously. So that's about it. Let's talk about the pattern. Okay, what has changed? Okay, what has changed? So we'll start with 6Z because 12Z isn't completely loaded yet. We'll just go 144 hours out. Here's your kind of pattern change. There's your dynamic storm. Still a little bit of ridging in the east, but that quickly gets breaking down by about midweek. Strong positive PNA. Still positive EPO, but you have your trough in the east. Look at that. This is what's interesting. Okay, this is kind of thumbnail of this video too. Deep upper level low. So first of all, deep trough and an upper level low. Now you would be like, oh, this looks like a snowstorm threat. At least some people would be like that for sure. And honestly, with first glance, it does look like that, okay? You have a deep trough, digging south and west, not neutral, not quite positive, but you have to look a little deeper into it. You have a ridge spiking in Alaska. Honestly, this is really good, okay? Honestly, want this more east, but it's a very healthy ridge, tall ridge. You have this ridging in that Atlantic. You can't get a storm with that. You need some sort of 50-50 low, or this ridging to kind of transfer up into Greenland so you can get a very solid negative NAO block. Because we have a negative NAO, but this light oranges, it's not going to cut it. Okay, you need something stronger. So even if we did get a storm, it would be very progressive. Now, why aren't we getting one? I'm going to talk about that. So there's your first kind of potential. Then here comes your next trough, another potential. This time your ridge spiking. Negative NAO is displaced, and you still have your Atlantic ridge, but again, it's good to have an Atlantic ridge. It definitely is. But there's no effect, and instead it's detrimental if you don't have some sort of 50-50 low over here. It's just something I've learned, okay, over the weekend especially. So, yeah. What has gone wrong with that winter storm? So, let's kind of go back. This is Saturday 6Z GFS 1. This is what we were kind of looking at. Look at this storm, okay? Right here. Why does it do this? So this is my first time kind of using Polar Wicks. Check it out, Tomerberg, great guy. I've seen his posts on Twitter, social media, but yeah. So it's a nice kind of product I want to see and kind of check out. But let's kind of go to the geopotential height, 500 millibars up. Okay, this is a little interesting. Okay, you have your kind of trough like that. First of all, it's positively tilted, not like completely, but it's positively tilted right here. And so you kind of get your low. It can ride this boundary, okay, but it's still kind of neutral. Okay, it's like if the trough was more like that or something, it would be worse. It's still positive tilted, but the piece of energy, the trough or the low, gets ahead of the trough. And before the trough kind of swings out, it rides the boundary. That's how you get a little more of a winter storm in these areas. Okay. Now let's see if I can see a better view. This honestly looks better. So you'll see how it picks up. Look at that. It picks up through there. It's an upper level. It combines with that southern piece of energy. So here's your northern energy, your upper level low, southern stream. You'll see a combination. Okay. Watch it. Okay. Boom. It combines right there. You can see it too. Still kind of offshore, okay? There's previous runs that are even better than this, but you get a combination. It would have become a quick little hitting winter storm. Nothing super significant, but it's notable, and it further strengthens as it heads north and east, okay? And then your next threat, but this is a little more out. So that's that, okay? Let's talk about the latest run. Still shows some snow. This is 12Z, but it's much more. It moves out much quicker, okay? And so let's see if there's any reason why. Okay, let's see if there's any reason why. We'll look at 500 heights, okay? Your energy doesn't combine up to until here, okay? Watch this. This is your upper level low, and here's your southern stream energy. Watch when they combine. They combine all the way up in, off the coast of southern New England. Boom, right there. So first of all, one of the issues, there's several issues, okay? Here, your low, so your upper level trough, first of all, is positioned kind of over the DMV, right here. And this is kind of where it starts interacting with each other. Okay? Look at the comparison, okay? This, first of all, energy behind it is stronger. And so this kicks this further north and out to sea. Also, your upper level trough, when the energy does interact, is up in Maine. How is that going to do any good for any snow over here in eastern U.S. and even into Maine, okay? And so that's kind of the main thing, okay? Upper level trough staying even more separated from the southern stream energy. That's one problem. Just talking kind of synoptically, energy behind it gets stronger, kicks it out. Second problem. And third, the energies don't kind of fuse together until it's up in New England. Even then, it's a very messy fuse. Third problem. Okay, you need everything to come in line. And even for a little winter storm, this is still not as favorable because that upper level trough never digs. See how it kind of like rotates like that? Okay, not even like that. It stays even north. It kind of rotates like that. Okay, watch this lobe. See this circle? Watch this lobe. Stays to the north of any major cities, maybe near Boston, but that'd still be an unfavorable look. Look at the lobe here. The lobe is able to dive down. Okay, it's near the DMV. It moves from DC off the shore. That's favorable because areas north of the lobe, right into here, can get snow. Okay, here, your upper level low right here, your lobe, your snows are confined up here. Okay, so it's small changes, but it leads to big differences. Okay, look, that's like 100 or it's like 300 miles north. Okay, of a shift with that lobe. Okay, even if you can get this lobe south, that's when you can even get a notable event. You almost don't even need southern stream energy. That's how many of our storms have been fueled this season thus far. Lastly, let's look at the long range pattern. It is a quick video, but just want to talk about fail safes and honestly quiet weather ahead in terms of any storms. Not much. Okay, we'll take a look at that little clipper, but here's your pattern change right there. Trough. Here's your next shot right here. Okay, we'll talk about that this week. Doesn't look as favorable, though, honestly, either. Not lots of noise. But if you're going to have another shot, it'll be this. Now, I will say before I continue, this Thursday, Friday threat, I wouldn't say it's off the table. It can definitely still trend into something slightly bigger. But in terms of a major snowstorm, it's done. Okay, if nothing changes by, I'd say, tomorrow at this time, or even tomorrow morning, don't get too enthusiastic at all. So there's your next threat. Okay, next threat, your trough kind of rotates around. There's your southeast ridge signal. But honestly, this looks only to hang around for a couple of days, okay? Few days, and then you kind of get your positive PNA. And this look is interesting, okay? Positive PNA, okay? Almost trying to spike. It's there. It's there. Gulf of Alaska low signal. Negative NAO, still kind of weak. It's also probably because of low confidence. Look at this high right here. It's direct access to cold air. You're going to have cold air diving through. Atlantic Ridge, yes, 50-50 low is kind of better. Okay, you like how this is kind of split, okay? And so you want this just a little closer. We're going to try to build a little bit in here. Help amplify any downstream storms. And this could be another look, okay? Another look. So we'll have to watch that as well. Quickly, we'll go to the RGEM and look at what it is showing for that kind of clipper. There it is, dives through, low pressure, very light, honestly more rain, some snow through Maine, heads out. There's your storm. Look, it doesn't even fuse on the RGEM. If we were to look at that vort, look, okay, so there's your north stream, south stream. It's just so elongated. Okay, I mean, you have something here, but, like, you need it, first of all, more broad. This is still slightly positively tilted, even as it gets off the coast of the Atlantic. You want this negatively, a little more broad, and you'd want a clear fuse. This is so messy. This is like a string of energy. Okay, this is almost a string of energy. This, you don't get anything. This kick gets kicked out. Okay, so that's about it. Okay, honestly, very disappointing for me because I'm a snow lover, but things could definitely change, but not anything substantial. Don't expect any substantial changes. So, next snow threat, I'd say late this weekend. Even that's looking a little scrimpy. We'll see how it continues to evolve throughout the week. If you did enjoy this video, again, please consider subscribing, liking, sharing with friends. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.